Good afternoon, folks, and thanks for joining us. My name is Tim Wheaton with Sportskeeda, and today we are joined by the One Championship Featherweight World Champion Ton Lee. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited, man.
Man, I'm excited that you're here. And let me repeat that sentence. World Champion Ton Lee. How does that sound to you, sir?
It's still still getting used to it. I've had the belt for a little while now. Defended it obviously last week, but yeah, still getting used to it. But we've tried to be on this level for a while, so it's nice to kind of finally hear it recognized. That's always a good thing.
Man, it is absolutely awesome to see, and a massive congratulations on your last couple of wins. Now, we're going to be talking about 1X, which is on March 26th, and it's One Championship's 10th anniversary show, and I'm excited for 1X. But before we jump in, I want to ask you a quick question. Why did you kill jiu-jitsu? Why is jiu-jitsu dead now because of what you did?
No, not at all. That's the opposite. The opposite. Jiu-jitsu is even stronger now because it's mixed well with punches. It's mixed well with, obviously, the base of jiu-jitsu is having good base, having awareness in all these positions, man. It's not anti-jiu-jitsu. I mentioned this in a post I did recently. Behind being a striker, I'm a jiu-jitsu dude. Like, y'all, you guys don't understand. I love the sport. I fell in love with the art. I really did. A friend, training partner, coach, mentor of mine, Ryan Hall, just made me fall in love with it, man. It's been great. It's done good for me, and I've tried to show it some love.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I wanted to, in your post-fight press conference, I was thinking about asking of like, man, jiu-jitsu's dead, right? But then you talked about, I only got that knockout because I knew jiu-jitsu. I knew how to defend, move my leg into the right spot to set up what I was doing. You needed a really strong knowledge base in jiu-jitsu to get to that win against Garry Tonon, right?
Yeah, that was huge. You know what I mean? And I think the narrative behind it's kind of like white belt level. It's just like, oh yeah, you can't do jiu-jitsu against me because I'll punch you in the face. I'm like, whoa, time out. A lot of people have tried that against Garry and other jiu-jitsu guys, and we've seen how that has gone. That's why, jiu-jitsu is definitely in the top, 2, 3 arts that are just known. If you do MMA, you better know this stuff or you are going to get victimized. I'd say it's in the top 2. You got to be able to obviously strike a little bit. So wherever your striking preference is, that's a big thing. Boxing, Thai, whatever. But next to wrestling, jiu-jitsu, like those are the top 3. You have to have that. So, I think it needs to continue to get love. There is no anti-jiu-jitsu. I needed to know jiu-jitsu before I was able to put myself in a position to hit that guy in the face. Without that, I get subbed so quick. We've seen it. We've seen Garry that's why he dived on a leg. That's why he just picked it up and grabbed it, because when you do that and that guy isn't good, I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but it's been a long time getting good at jiu-jitsu, like too long. It's finally nice to see it on stage, you know what I mean? But I spent too long actually getting good at the sport. Like, you have to be good to be able to get yourself in a position to do those things to people.
Man, that, like you said, you need to know a lot of things. You're a world champion for a reason. That is why. You put it all together well, and a massive congratulations. But what we're going to do today, we're going to play some word association for 1X. So I'm going to say a fighter's name, and I want you to just say the first thing that you think of that fighter. Is that good?
All right.
Let's start with some of our favorites. Yoshihiro Akiyama. Power. Tell me more. He's fought at UFC 100. He's maybe the best looking guy on the roster. What do you think, man?
I think all of it. Like, he's a powerful looking dude. He's powerful as a model. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing all these things. He's a powerful. I've seen him throw people through the earth. Like, he's a powerful man.
Oh, he really is an amazing judoka. He's competed in the Asian Games in judo, and then he's kind of segued into being a Nike. Like, he's worked with Nike, he's worked with watch companies, worked with cell phone companies. Like,
that's powerful right there, man. I want some of that Nike power.
Absolutely awesome. His opponent, Shinya Aoki Tobakan Judan.
Dangerous. Precise, dangerous, you know what I mean? Like, he's going to get to where he wants to go. And boy, he is relentless when he gets there.
Man, it's so funny. Shinya Aoki is so good at what he does. He's like a multi-degree black belt in jiu-jitsu, multi-degree black belt in judo. But then martial arts is so based in honor and respect. And he seems to almost be the exact opposite. Like, he hates his opponent. He's trash talking coming into this fight. Like, how do you balance that?
I don't know. I'm not that dude, so I really don't know. I think maybe, you've seen different characters, not like a show character. I mean, like different archetypes of fighter need to get into different mindsets to kill people, right? Like I do the whole martial arts thing because that's how I grew up, and I'll see, John Danaher at breakfast and, shake his hand. I was like, hey, coach, good luck this week or whatever. It's we're competing against each other. We're going to do what we love to do, but, somebody might get hurt, but there's respect there. And I think some people need to get mad. I think some people need to like Conor does the whole trash talking thing to kind of, I think it puts him in the right mindset and like gets his blood flowing. You got Ronda Rousey, who's just kind of that I need to hate you almost. That's definitely not my thing. So I don't know, but it seems to work pretty well for him, and the man puts on a good show, and he definitely puts dudes down.
Man, he is an entertaining fighter, and at 1X we're going to see more. Another one for you, Kim Jae Wong.
Man, okay, give me a second. We're going to think this one out. Next?
That's what I was going to ask. You think he gets the win? Is he next for you?
I think he can definitely get the win. He's got a very, very strong chance. I'm interested in this fight for career purposes, but I'm really interested to watch this as a fan too. Like, I won't be in that mode. I'll be in career scouting mode, but I'd like to rewatch it as a fan. It kind of puts your head in a different spot. But I think the matchup, style versus style, is going to be really cool. We're going to see some very interesting things, I think. And I hope it doesn't end super, super quick. Well, I do. So one of the guys is relatively healthy and I can get into the ring pretty quick. But I'd like to see them, do their thing and kind of troubleshoot their way through some positions. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun match.
Yeah, you're trying to take notes on them is what you're saying.
Yeah, obviously.
So you just fought 2 weeks ago. Your next top contender is likely going to be fighting at 1X March 26th. When do you want to get back in there then?
I would love to just stay in Singapore and fight. I don't think that's realistic, right? I'd like to go home too, but 6 weeks, 8 weeks, give me a little camp and let's go. If they're healthy, let's get back in there ASAP, as soon as possible.
Man, absolutely love to hear it. I think one of our favorite fighters, everyone's favorite, Stamp Fairtex.
Fun. I think she loves what she does, and I think that's what makes her so dangerous. She has fun. She has fun walking out. She has fun fighting. She has fun in between rounds. Like that, dude, that's dangerous.
It's unreal to see that she's 24 years old. She's on track to become potentially a 3-sport champion, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and MMA. It's madness.
That's sick. That's so cool.
I'm so excited. The main event at 1X, I'm excited for that one. Now, everyone loves talking about this guy, Superbon.
Man.
Unreal, right?
Expert.
Yeah.
I got so many words, but let's just say that. The dude's good everywhere.
Man, he's good everywhere. And the reason I like talking about Superbon, because no matter what level of fighter I'm talking to, you are the highest level of fighter. We're just a fan of Superbon. Just love, this guy's unreal.
There's no way around it. Yeah, do whatever. I'll go watch you play tennis. I just want to watch you do your thing. He's good. Man, he's good. I look up to him. He's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Now what about Rodtang?
I'm not going to say Iron Man. Intense.
Very much so.
Man, he's awesome. I'm a big fan of his. I love watching him fight. I'm so torn on this matchup, man. But he's when he gets into his I've seen people talk about Adesanya getting into God mode and this and all that. When he gets into his Iron Man mode, get out of his way, man. That dude is scary, dangerous, and he's so fun to watch.
You had said that you wanted to train with him. Man, you guys are fighting in the same town.
Man,
yeah, tell me more.
I've trained with this whole card, man. Like, this is the best mixed martial arts card I've ever heard of and seen and been kind of a part of, you know what I mean? Just being here and being a part of some of the events and interviews and stuff. It's amazing. I feel privileged, honored, and yeah, I'd love to be able to learn from him and a ton of other guys on this card. I'm such a student, or try to be such a student of the game, man. I have no ego. I'll go in there and put on some tie shorts and start like a day one dude. Whatever they want to do, I'm here to learn, man. That would be awesome to train with these guys.
Man, it would be great to see. I appreciate you saying that as well. I'm going to give you two more, and they're on the grand finale of 1X. Demetrious Johnson.
GOAT.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so typical, but man, what else can you say? The dude's done everything. He's so like well-rounded. I hate, because it means like it can mean two things. It means, what I mean is you're really good everywhere and you're actually well-rounded, or it could be the opposite and you're kind of like mediocre at everything, so you're a well-rounded fighter. But he's not that. He's so well-rounded. The dude mixes his jiu-jitsu, wrestling, striking so well. You don't know what he's going to do. Up, down, he's all over the place in a great way. And yeah, and he's cool as hell. Everything I've seen him do, interviews and gaming and motocross with his kids, I don't know, everything I say, dude's cool as hell too.
Man, he is living the dream life right now. Fight against Rodtang. Dan Hardy was doing a video breakdown, and he said Rodtang could time a knee on a takedown. Everyone thinks there's going to be a second round takedown to submission, but it's only 3 minutes, and Rodtang might be able to time a knee. How do you see the fight playing out?
So that's my like big dilemma here, and obviously that's why I'm so interested in this fight, because I'm torn. I'm striker guy versus grappler guy in most situations, right? Especially in my last fight, and most of my fights coming against wrestlers and jiu-jitsu guys. So my heart's there, but I'm an MMA dude. I told you, behind being a striker, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. Like, I love mixed martial arts. That's why I do the sport. That's why I haven't really ventured out yet into the other sports. It's because I love MMA so much and I'm so engulfed in it, and my heart's there with Mighty Mouse. So I'm literally 50-50 split. Like, it's insane how I'm going back and forth. The more I think about one guy, I'm like, yeah, dude, he's got such a good chance. And I think about the other guy, I'm like, yeah, he's got such a good chance. Like, the main issues, I think the differentiating factors here are, it starts with a tie round. I just recently came across an interview where Mighty Mouse was basically, shocked that somebody was trying to go against Rodtang, like straight up striking for striking, standing in the pocket, going forward. And he was, the guy he was talking about was moving his feet decently well, and he was praising that. So if Mighty Mouse's mindset is in that mind frame, he's so good that I think he can get out of round one.
Yeah.
If he gets out of round one, now we're looking at I don't even want to go, because round one you're like 100% Rodtang. No, because Mighty Mouse can move his feet well. And then because it's an MMA round, that's not 100% in Mighty Mouse's favor, because Rodtang knows how to get good at stuff. So he's obviously training what he needs to train. But now he's got a 3-minute round, like you said, so a short round, which means he's got to get past the striking and the danger to get him to the ground or to the cage, and then work his way to a submission. Like, if I just curl up into a ball, it's going to take you a minute to get past that stuff. Now, obviously, the great thing is you can punch, and Mighty Mouse's ground and pound is obviously good as well. But it's going to be, it just depends on the tactics that these guys employ. And that's why, like, if I could get into these fighters' minds, obviously everybody says this, but and see what tactics and strategies they're going to use, I might be 100% and be the richest man on the planet because I bet on all of them. But I just don't know what the tactics are going to be. I don't know what the strategies are going to be. So that's an issue. Like, if I can control these guys like video games, that'd be one thing, because I'd be the tactician and the strategist. But I don't know what these guys are going to do, and that's what makes this so freaking cool, man.
Dude, it's so exciting. And like you said, like there's just so many different scenarios. There's so many different timelines. If you read through this fight 8 times, you'll get 8 different results every time out. It's such a cool matchup that we're having. Now, speaking of specialty matchups, there is some grappling matchups on the card. You've called out Christian Lee and said, let's do a submission grappling. You clearly love jiu-jitsu. You've called him out. Is this something that we're going to...
I don't want to... I mean, you kind of make it a little... sound a little negative, but I'd really just try to get some action. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here. Like, I'd love to compete. That's the whole point of doing this sport. You know what I mean? So that's I just want to compete all the time because that's going to make me better. Christian's a phenomenal fighter. He's obviously a great grappler. That would just jump my levels and skill so much, just being able to compete against a guy like that. But yeah, it wasn't a shit talking call out. It was like, hey, let's do some stuff, man. Like, I want to compete against somebody who wants to grapple. Fuck.
It's a cool position to be in that you can call out and have a respectful fight against someone that you look up to, right?
Yeah, that's cool. Like, all these guys are in positions that they're in because they're good, because they've made it past the mediocre guys and the kind of good guys, and we're at the highest of the highest level. Yeah, like, these guys are doing things the right way. I want to be a part of it, soak in some of that knowledge as I beat you, hopefully, or soak in some of the knowledge as you beat me. That would be bad, but like, learning's learning, man.
Man, absolutely. And speaking of highest of the highest level, one last fighter for you, Angela Lee.
I'm trying to pick the word right because I know what I want to say. Astonishing. Let's just pick a word like that because, man, she's here with her family and her daughter. I'm here with my daughter. My wife's here too. I would struggle making this week a fight week because so much energy and attention is going into my baby, obviously my family as a whole, but man, babies drain you. I don't know if you have any kids or anything, but like just running around an empty room and making sure she doesn't crack her head on the floor, like it's just takes energy. Like, I've dealt with that through camp and through now, obviously, like, this is the camp that she was born in. So we went through all the newborn stuff and everything. And it's just draining. Like, I didn't get my schedule 100% right. Like, I'm used to doing my 2-3 hours in the morning, or at my morning, it's afternoon. And then you go home, you get some rest in between training sessions, you fuel up, maybe do some recovery stuff, hop on the video games or something to get a little mental break, and then boom, back at night training for another few hours. And you need to save your energy because I'm trying to fuel. That's all I do. You fuel up. Where's my hand? There it is. You fuel up and you drain the energy bar as much as possible because you're training your ass off, and then you fuel up again and do it again. So it interrupts that flow, and I'm just like in awe of how she's in here fight week, taking care of the baby with her family. She's about to go through obviously like open workouts and training, this cutting weight, not eating what she would normally eat or whatever, you know what I mean? So she can make weight. Yeah, man, it's I went through this a bunch, and I talked about it with my wife actually this morning at breakfast because we saw them eating breakfast. Yeah, I don't think I could do it. I don't know if I could do it. She is amazing. All the moms out there that are doing this, amazing. Yeah, I just don't know if I could do it. I'm in awe.
Yeah, she is someone to look up to, of just how strong and resilient she is. She's also quite young and a multi-time world champion. Just some of the athletes that we're seeing are absolutely amazing, and she's going to be headlining on 1X. Now, I don't want to ask you because we can't pick, I don't want to pick a winner, but Angela Lee versus Snap Fairtex, how do you see it playing out?
Man, that's so tough. There's so many factors that go into play, and actually, I've gone back and forth on this a couple times. I think I went on record and picked Angela first, and that was during my fight week. Mm-hmm. I've had a lot of time here in Singapore. My family didn't get here until like Friday, so I've had a lot of time in the gym, running, lifting, whatever, doing my thing. And took some time and watched some of the fights, and watch Angela's fights and watch Snamp's fights. And I'm still torn, but I think I'm gonna go and change my answer, and I think the challenger takes it. And that was a big striker versus grappler thing too that I had to battle, because I've talked about this before. I give jiu-jitsu and grappling so much respect because I'm a student of the game and I understand that that's a dangerous part, and I engulfed myself in it so I can get good. And I just I think the matchup, like Angela's so good, so well-rounded. Stamp's good, obviously. I think where if you're going to have little weak spots in Angela's game, like where there's got to be something that's a little weaker than other spots, right? Like I wouldn't just see it and say it's weak, but there's got to be something that's weaker than other spots. Those are the areas where Stamp is pretty damn good. In the approach for takedowns, sometimes Angela gets touched a little bit before she changes levels for that little double that she always hits during the exchange, which makes sure your opponent's planted. It's just taking a couple punches from Stamp is not a good idea. I wouldn't do it. And I'm a big 160 whatever pound dude, you know what I mean? Like compared to their weight. So going through that fire probably isn't super safe. And then the other option is clinch. Clinching Stamp's probably not a good idea. Her clinch is great. Knees, elbows, coming from that background, that's a rough spot to be in. And then the cage wall seems pretty solid for Stamp. I don't know if that's like an area to just victimize her in, you know what I mean? Like during this camp, if I'm Angela, like, okay, how am I going to get her to the ground? Let's pick one of these areas. Pressuring her and putting her into the cage is not safe as well. But if you can outlast, like Stamp doesn't do like Ngannou type one punch knockouts super often. So, okay, let's say you think you can weather that storm and put her against the wall. Like her base and solid, the way she profiles her body and spreads her legs, and like she does a really good job at defending. So I don't know. The more and more I kind of look into it, I was on one side of the coin and kind of gradually drifted to the other. And I hate the flip flop like that, man. But these matchups are so damn good. Like honestly, like that's a sign. If I'm going back and forth, your matchups are pretty damn good.
It is amazing. And I'm not supposed, I didn't want to take too much of your time, but it's such a compelling matchup that I wanted to talk about it. But it's like the cage, as we saw with some of the old style grapplers, like guys like Matt Hughes and these types, where the cage becomes a combatant. It becomes the third person in there. And I think Angela Lee and Stan Fairtex will be an example where the cage is a major factor. And just like you were saying, but I was really on the Angela Lee side. But rewatching that Ritu Fogat win, where she gets an armbar off her, she's defending takedowns, she's winning in the clinch. What is this? Part is amazing, man.
Yeah, no, that's tough. And another aspect that I was looking at too is the way Angela passes and attempts to pass and strike on the ground. I think Stamp, at least I can tell that she spent most of her time in those spots, at least so far. So I don't know. It's like I said, I was back and forth, but if I had to pick, which I don't like this choice, I don't like to pick right now with this matchup, but if I had to pick, I'd say Stamp.
I'm saying Stamp as well, but we're both like 51-49 on this.
Yeah, 50.5 even.
So I know that you've been in Singapore for a few weeks now. You're just getting food now. I always love hearing about Cajun cooking. You must miss the food at home. What do you miss most about some home style cooking?
Man, I do. I really do. I miss a lot of mom's cooking, but it's been great. The food has just been phenomenal. It's different, right? I do miss home food. I always do a lot of cooking at home. Like my wife cooks, I cook, and I do a lot of meal preps. And I use this special seasoning, this paella seasoning from my boy, the Cajun Ninja, and I miss it, man. I can't wait to get home and use it.
How do I spell that?
It's P-I-YAAAAH. It's an awesome name, but if you look up the Cajun Ninja, you'll see all of his stuff. He does basically like a little mini cooking show on Facebook, and he's whipping up all these Cajun dishes and with his seasoning. It's just so good. I'll check him out. But I was going to say, yeah, cooking at home is a big one, and then mom's cooking is a big one.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier before the beginning where like missing even like little basic stuff during camp. Like I go to this place called Salad Station, which is at home in New Orleans on Magazine Street. And it's one of my favorite places because I can eat super clean for camp. Like I eat there before I get here to Singapore, and I'm on weight, never missed weight, knock on wood, on any of my fights ever. And I can go back and get a baked potato loaded. You know what I mean? We can get all from the hot bar. So he does hot and cold stuff. It's so good, man. But those are the main things I miss from home.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I've done road trips across the U.S., but I haven't yet done Louisiana. If I find myself there and I'm at the Salad Station, what must I eat? What do I have to have?
They always do. They do soups also, which is cool. So get your salad made into a wrap. Very cool. Mm-hmm. And then it's very, very good. But they've got this chicken soup that's excellent. But even better than that, they have this crawfish bisque. It's I don't know if you've ever had crawfish. It's definitely a New Orleans staple, Louisiana staple. They look real weird. It's hard to get past. I get it. But the soup, this biscuit that they have is, it's up there, man. It's so good.
That's the stuff we miss. All right, I'm going to do a quick lead off, and then you're going to get the last word here. So if you are, make sure to check out Cajun Seasoning Paella and the Salad Station. 1X, you must watch it. This event is absolutely unreal. It is going to be on March 26th. I am joined here today by Ton Lee, the world champion. Ton, you get the last word. Where can the people find more of you? Shout out whoever you need to shout out, sir.
Oh, y'all hit me up on pretty much Ton Lee MMA everything, Instagram, Facebook. Also, the website will be up in a couple days. I got some merch dropping, 2 T-shirts. I've got a throwback Lil Wayne, The Block is Hot style CD album cover coming out, and then just an good old traditional champ shirt. So y'all check that out.
Man, I didn't know that you were into dirty South rap. We could have had we could spend 2 hours talking about like.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's all my training session is just the clubbiest, hoodest music I can listen to. I love it.
Next time we're on the air, it's going to be hip hop hour. Ton Lee, appreciate your time. Have a great meal. We'll talk to you soon, sir.
Thank you.